Recording Academies. I need y'all to explain really what this award is. As he said, some of y'all don't even belong in the category, which leads me right to the topic of Album of the Year. This is not the year or time to be doing the Color Purple soundtrack. He took a moment to fight for his wife. Honestly, I'm not going to call this a snub. I didn't think she was going to get a Grammy. Honestly, tuned out for a lot of the performances this year. So whoever booked this year, get rid of them. Hello, hello, hello. I am Nikole, and welcome back to the channel. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Nikole, and welcome back to the channel and season 3. Now we are kicking season 3 off like we normally do, getting into an episode of Run the Show, reviewing music's biggest night, the Grammy Awards. That's right, we are running down everything from the production, the performances, and the awards, the whole nine. So let's do it. So as we all may know by now, the Grammys is kind of like an all-day thing. They have the non-televised awards and then obviously the awards that we all get a chance to watch. Now you can watch the non-televised awards on a live stream on YouTube, which is something that I normally do, right? Wasn't able to do that this year, but I already saw the mess starting on Twitter. And when I mean mess, I mean Nicki Minaj snub. So honestly, I'm not gonna call this a snub. I didn't think she was going to get a Grammy, but with all the conspiring and drama that 2024 has come in with, everybody feels like that the Recording Academy is kind of shutting Nicki out. Now, I ain't gonna lie. To allow a tweet to go out and say that Nicki Minaj won an award, she's never won. That being a historical award, something is fishy. But I just personally wouldn't call it a snub because I don't feel like the award was deserved. But for that tweet to go out, I was like, all right, this night probably about to be real messy. But jumping into the actual televised show, Trevor Noah was hosting yet again, which I actually love this role for him. I don't know if we can get a staple of Trevor Noah just hosting. I feel like he's the right type of comic and the right type of energy to be able to move through award shows. I don't think we have many people like that anymore. I'm sorry, when they had LL Cool J hosting, I'm like, why is he here? This is a CBS thing because he on one of y'all shows. Y'all please stop. Why is he here? But I feel like Trevor Noah handles the crowd well. He handles the teleprompter well. Even when little things happen in the audience, he picks it up. There were a couple of jokes that kind of fell flat, but we already know that those are written by writers. So I'm not going to blame him for those. But I feel like he is the right host for the Grammys. Another thing that was a highlight for me watching the Grammy Awards were the special appearances. First up being Tracy Chapman coming out and performing her hit Fast Car with Luke Combs. Now, Fast Car is a song that I've heard all throughout my childhood thanks to my cousins. And Tracy Chapman, it was nice to see her back on stage. And then another goddess appeared later in the night was Celine Dion. Now we're gonna talk about the disrespect of Taylor, but it was nice to see her coming out on stage. I was wondering why they were hyping up this surprise presenter, but to see that it was her, I was really excited. Honestly, I almost cried. I ain't even gonna hold you. I almost cried. I believe she was diagnosed last year with stiff person syndromes, and she was having a lot of issues with muscle movement, I believe. So hearing that, it was scary, and not seeing her for such a long time was scary. So it's good to see her health turn around, and her feeling good enough to come out and grace the stage publicly, because she honestly could have just recorded a video from home. But the fact that she made her way to LA to be amongst her peers, I thought it was a beautiful moment. That was ruined, but a beautiful moment. The last thing that stood out to me about this year's award show were the video vignettes. Having these artists get a chance to speak about their music and speak about their performance and give some context before we see them hit the stage, I thought was really nice. And it wasn't just like some sit down in the studio interview type of situation. They actually like had editors like create things to kind of take us into the world of what the artist was discussing, and then we were able to cut to a performance. So it kind of helped with like moving the production along, because they didn't really have announcers. I don't recall. Like, there were a few announced performances from the stage, but to kind of move in from either a commercial break or to move in from a awkward world award or an awkward camera movement, the video vignettes kind of broke it up and kind of let people know, hey, this is who is about to hit the stage. If you want to see this performance, come sit down, get ready to actually watch the performance. I thought that was really dope to add to the production. And it honestly helped get rid of a lot of the fluff that award shows have. I did catch Trevor Noah mentioning, hey, we staying on time. We are running on time today, at the top of the show. So I could see that they were really trying to stay locked in on their time schedule, because I do feel like the last few award shows and even like the last year at the Grammys, like they ran over a long time. Like I'm talking 30, 40 minutes. Ain't nobody trying to sit there and watch that all day. Like I used to love the Grammys a lot. I feel like award shows, we talked about this all last season. Award shows had not been as interesting to watch. Now, the moment that we're all really waiting for is to get into these performances. So let's do it. This year, I was really, really disappointed. Not even gonna hold you about like the selection and performances. The fact that the award speeches and like the action in the crowd was more interesting to me than the actual performance of the night is strange. I feel like they missed the opportunity to allow some of the more like either like the best new artist category or even the album of the year category. People like, they missed the opportunity to allow them to hit the stage. I don't know if people just weren't available for bookings. It looked like everybody was actually there in the audience. I don't really know. Now, that's one thing I don't know is what goes into the award show's performance selection. But yeah, this year was boring. But there were some highlights. So let's get into the good ones first. Let's get into SZA first. She performed Kill Bill from her album SOS that dropped late 2022. And I thought that the performance obviously was themed as the movie Kill Bill, with the choreography, the theatrics. It definitely like presented a world and articulated the story of the song. Like, unfortunately, I was not able to attend the SOS tour. I liked the theme and the story of the performance, but the energy just never took me there. And I don't know if it was there's no shade. We know SZA can sing live now, but the pre-record just wasn't giving. It was not giving. Next up for best performances, it's Miley Cyrus. She hit the stage to perform Flowers, which absolutely was a top song over the last 2 years. The second performance of the night, and started us off just right. The energy was hype, the energy was there, and I thought we was gonna keep it going up from there, but we'll get to those bad performances. It's very clear that Miley Cyrus is really over the politics and the prim and proper part of her job as a celebrity. We learned a lot about that and a lot of the content that she put out surrounding her last album. And we talked about it a little bit as well on her Game Plan episode from last season. But it was good to see her having fun and sounding good and feeling comfortable on stage again. She talked a lot about how, since her voice has changed, feeling uncomfortable with certain performances and not wanting to do award shows because of having to perform in front of peers. But it was good to see her bringing all of that energy, sounding great, and being able to tribute some of her idols, like she mentioned in her video before her performance. And the top performance of the night happened to come during the In Memoriam segment. Now, we talked about how the Grammys does it perfectly now. They are really the only show that gets this part of award shows right, when we're tributing everyone that has passed and all of the people that have contributed to the music industry. They have allowed like 4 or 5 people to come and do these performances rather than just playing a slideshow and music. So it kind of keeps the energy going of the show. And it was absolutely the climax when Fantasia took the stage to tribute Tina Turner. Now, when it was announced that Fantasia was performing at the Grammys this year, I was really confused because I was like, this is not the year or time to be doing the Color Purple soundtrack. But when I saw Oprah strut out on stage with her tassels, I was like, oh, it is time for a Tina Turner tribute. So I was so glad that the Recording Academy enlisted Fantasia to do it. It was very much so redeeming from that horrible BET tribute that Patti LaBelle did. We were finally able to honor Tina Turner the right way. Fantasia hit the stage with all of the tassels, glitter, and dancers she could find to perform the top hits from Tina Turner, and I felt like she did it justice. And it was nice to see Fantasia be able to take a moment on the Grammy stage as well. We didn't really see that many R&B artists actually perform on the stage this year, and all of the R&B and hip-hop awards were removed from the main telecast and put in the pre-show broadcast. So that was a little weird to me as well this year. But yeah, those were my top 3 performances. There weren't really any more performances worth discussing because they were honestly just that bad. Billie Eilish performed that Barbie song and it put us all to sleep. And Olivia Rodrigo had a lot of bad vocal moments, which is not normal for her. I was like, this is annoying. I honestly tuned out for a lot of the performances this year. So whoever booked this year, get rid of them. We need to see something else next year. I was really disappointed that we didn't see Victoria Monet perform or any of the best new artists perform, but oh well. Although the show was boring this year, it actually seems like they spreaded the wealth pretty well when it comes to the award. Coco Jones won her first Grammy for R&B performance. SZA was finally able to claim 3 of her own awards. Killer Mike swept in the rap categories, and the one award I actually screamed at the TV about was Victoria Monet taking home Best New Artist. I could not be more happy for her. I've been a fan of her songwriting for years, thanks to all of the work she did with Ariana Grande and obviously tons of other artists. And then I found my way to her music as well, which we discussed in our review of Jaguar 2. So just seeing her journey, honestly, like she said on stage, being a 15-year journey, being able to take in the moment and touch that Grammy stage after all of the hard work that she's put in for others and herself. Honestly, I almost cried there too. I ain't even gonna hold you. But that was the one that I was really, really glad that they got right. Jay-Z was honored that night with the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, which Recording Academies. I need y'all to explain really what this award is. I know y'all tried to explain it last year with Dr. Dre during all the hip-hop stuff, but the hip-hop stuff kind of clouded that out. So I need y'all to explain for real what this is, because they also did not acknowledge what it really was, because he took a moment to fight for his wife. He accepted the speech. He honored, his journey in hip-hop and kind of mentioned where he is right now. But then read the Grammys his rights, basically saying what everybody has been saying for the last few years, is that we just want y'all to get it right and give awards that make sense. But with the way that the Recording Academy works, it is basically a politicking popularity contest. So I know all of these people are not consuming the hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of people that get submitted and nominated and then make it to that main stage show. Nobody's consuming that much music. As I said, it's a popularity contest. Harvey Mason Jr. has done a lot of work when it comes to adding categories and adjusting categories and making sure that categories that we have reflect the breadth of music. But sometimes they just put people wherever. As he said, some of y'all don't even belong in the category, which leads me right to the topic of Album of the Year. So obviously we all knew. Trevor Noah kind of gave it away at the top of the show, just like they gave away Beyonce's historical win that she was going to win. He announced at the top of the show that if Taylor Swift takes home Album of the Year, she will be the only artist to win well, she'll break the record. There have been artists that have won it three times. That night, she took home her 4th Grammy for Album of the Year. As y'all know, I'm aware of Taylor, but I'm not a Taylor stan. I didn't listen to Midnight. I thought we were still on the other album that she had like bought from Scooter Braun. I didn't keep up. I knew that the tour did very, very well, which I thought it was the Eras tour, so I thought it was kind of spinning off like her kind of reclaiming her music and taking people through her journey. That's what I thought this whole thing was about. Completely missed the whole Midnight album drop situation. Which is another reason, like, I don't really know how it could be Album of the Year. SZA owned the charts and is still owning the charts with SOS. It was a very, very clear thing to me. But as I said, the Recording Academy is a voting academy. It's not really based off of the stats and numbers. So maybe there should just be more context provided for people to take a second look and consider, like, maybe I was going to just check Taylor Swift just to check Taylor Swift. But maybe we should provide more context to the albums that make it into the categories for people to actually go consume the music and be like, okay, maybe this person deserves it. Because I definitely thought SZA was going to walk away with that Album of the Year, and then it was going to be a discussion of why Beyonce doesn't have one. But it's still it's still a question of why Beyonce doesn't have one, because Taylor Swift won it again for the album. I'm sorry, did not make that much noise. But her PR stunts work. Taylor Swift's team, or Taylor Swift herself, whoever is figuring it out, masterminding all of this, they're doing a great job. Overall, this year's Grammy show was beyond boring. Definitely think they could have added people to the performance list, even added another like 30 minutes to the show if they had to, for our best new artist to perform, having Doja Cat perform, or even though I don't bang with her for real, she would have brought some energy, or Paramore. Like, I don't even think we got a rock performance this year. So yeah, they typically try to make sure most of the genres touch the stage in some way. But yeah, it was a very, very boring show. We need to rethink the production and the selection on the show for next year. That has wrapped up the 2023 year in music, and we are moving into 2024. And so far, it's looking like it's about to be a great year in music. A lot of my faves have announced dates, so I am excited to run down some more game plans, get into some more performances this year. You guys drop down in the comments below. Let me know what some of your favorite moments from the Grammys were. Did you guys appreciate Jay-Z's speech? Did y'all think Taylor Swift was disrespectful to Celine Dion? That was the first thing that popped in my head before I even hopped on Twitter, but let me get off my soapbox. You already know what to do here on YouTube. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss a drop. And of course, you guys can slide over to my Patreon, where you guys get the extended version of this video. You can watch the performances over there as we get into. If you are not already subscribed to Patreon, Season 1 is now available for everyone to watch. I'm taking it beyond the paywall so you guys can do some deep diving on the extended version of all the episodes from Season 1 if you would like to get a little taste of what we get into over there. All right, that is a wrap on this episode of Run the Show, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.